All right, boom, we back. Yo, welcome back to the show. Zulu Boy 405. Thank you for your time. So I'm gonna try and make this one you know what I'm saying, as quick as possible. But yo, it's imperative information, which is why I feel like I need to get it out there. And um I say that it's crazy in the same sense of the information not only has been out there, but I'll put the information out there myself. It's just the conversation has come back around. And that conversation is we are not all from Africa. Um, for people who understand history, ancient history, and the ancient civilizations that most of us base our history from, we understand that there are patterns within history. But one thing's for sure is, man, we're not all from the same spot in that sense. Now, what I would like to do before anything is illustrate what I'm saying, and then we're going to get into the definitions of the terminology that I'm using because it's easy to say African, right? Black or African American, whatever, Latin American. So let's specify what I mean when I say we're not all from Africa. Because when I say that, that could mean a lot of different things. So I will specify it in regards to the dark skinned people of this world. A lot of people would like to assume all dark skinned people from this world reside and originate from the continent of Africa itself, right? Specifically, the continent of Africa, which um, is, I want to say it's true, but it's not. In the essence of the world was one at one point. So when we say what is Africa, that could mean a very, very large landmass, which also even includes the Americas. You see what I'm saying? So um, I'm not going to split hairs in this kind of intro, but I will specify that I am, this conversation is in regards to everyone assuming that black, dark skinned people, I don't like using the word black because black people are not who we are. Black people are what we look like. Our skin is not even fucking black, but I just hate that terminology. I'd rather use dark skin because that's what we are. Black is the adjective of dark. So I'm not an adjective. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, like you don't say when you see a car, you don't just call it a black, you right? You call it a black car, right? So that's my point is that my my identity doesn't stop at my description and what I look like to somebody. So with that being said, dark is the right word to use with people that have my complexion is dark. Um, so when it comes to dark skinned people around the world, I would like to assume that people would like to assume. Let me say that again. When it comes to dark skinned people around the world, most people would like to assume we are all from Africa, which is not true. And I'm glad the conversation is back around because not only does it help people get a clean understanding of who they are and where they come from, but then also we can get this shit put together, right? When it comes to history. And we tell our histories. So I love how the real Native Americans, and I'm not, talking down to who is considered a Native American. They are part of this native land too. They came a lot later, but they are definitely like and when I say Native Americans, I mean the ones that are traditionally called uh, Native Americans here, which are, the Cherokees and people like that. They are definitely part of these lands. It's just they came a lot later in time. I'm talking about the people that came before them. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm talking about the people. I'm talking about the curly haired people that came before them. That's what I'm talking about. So, and then we can also go, like I said, all this is we can go back to history, y'all. And that's we're about to take a little quick dive. We're gonna jump in, and then we're gonna jump right back out. But we're definitely gonna jump in and get the knowledge. You know what I mean? Now, what is black, right? What is African? What is Black American? What is African American? What is Native American? What is Indian? These terms have not only been stretched, have been twisted. They have been contradicted, right? Words have been loosely used to lump a certain group of people together and then also lump another group of people together. And so when I say that, let me go ahead and be even more specific with that. So now we're looking at here the definition of African American, right? And it says here it's a noun, it's a Black American. So any American that is Black is considered a descendant of Africa, right? The adjective for that is an African American is relating to Black Americans, right? So now we know that. Now we look at Indian, okay? So an Indian is related to India or its people, custom or languages. They're referring to India, the country in Asia. And then the secondary definition is relating to or denoting indigenous peoples of North, Central, and South America, especially those of North America. So, and then the noun is a native or inhabitant of India, a member of any of the indigenous peoples of North, Central, and South America, especially those of America. Okay, so now we're gonna go and see what is Black? What does that mean? All right. Now, Black is of the very darkest color. Any human group having dark colored skin, especially of African or Australian Aboriginal ancestry. I'm going to read it again. The definition of Black is any human group having dark colored skin, especially of African or Australian Aboriginal ancestry. You see, so folks, what's going on here is that as the descriptions get more belligerent and blatant, then more people of a certain color are put into a certain group, no matter what their indigenous, heritage is. So my point is that there were a lot of there was a lot of dark-skinned Indians. There were a lot of dark-skinned Indians who unfortunately fell under the category of Black. And because they fell under the category of Black, they were considered, especially of African or Australian Aboriginal ancestry. And so then they were lumped with the quote unquote slaves, because traditionally the slaves were what? Dark-skinned people. So now we understand that an Indian, which would be a dark-skinned person of the Americas, would not be classified. Well, you see, this is the crazy thing, is that before it became where dark-skinned people, where it was Black, an Indian this was still dark-skinned people. This was still y'all know Chili from TLC, her people. You see what I'm saying? Y'all know Tutti Frutti, Little Richard, his people. All them type of people, like, they were still related and they were still considered part of this group of indigenous peoples of North America when they were considered Indians. But then when the term Black came, that's when everything changed. And now we don't associate dark-skinned people with indigenous America because of the terminology, obviously, especially because of the slave trade, but especially because of the terminology, which was orchestrated and purposely used, right? Because what the terminology did was separate the skin color. So then people who now were considered indigenous were fair skin, were lighter skin. And then the ones that were lumped in, and then the dark skinned Indians were now just lumped in with Black people and with Black people and Africans. So that's where the mess and the confusion began. No. That's when the confusion was implemented, because there was nothing like it was an accident. There was no accident. That all this was perfectly orchestrated. And then also keep in mind, it was orchestrated with people that are alien, that are completely alien to the Americas. You know, even the whole English language is alien to the Americas. It's alien, like an illegal alien, right? Like when they came, they literally were not from here, and they were infringing. They were the same thing they blame Mexicans to be doing. They were doing. So unfortunately, the indigenous dark-skinned people were lumped in with the quote unquote slaves. And this happened with North America. This happened with Central America and South America. So that's the first place that we had to start, was the classifications. Okay. And then what I want to do is talk about the people, the civilizations of the Americas that a lot of people don't know about. But I want to talk about the most popular. And what I'd like to do, the best way to do that is to show y'all, because for me, like I said, I've been doing this. I've been trying to do this homework for a while, and I've been trying to put this information out here for a long time too. And I had come out with I think it was like a 5-part series when the Black Panther movie came out. I had the astound privilege of taking over 100 kids in the city to go watch Black Panther. And I made sure that, you know, I made, with the people that helped me facilitate that whole deal, I made sure to put together a presentation so the kids could correlate the movie with real ancient African civilizations and spiritualities that actually existed, and that actually coincide and confirm all the things that you might think was a joke and was fiction in the Black Panther movie. Well, I created this 5-part series, which, like I said, it correlates ancient African civilizations and spiritualities with the movie. And so, in regards to what I'm talking about the early Americas, the people, the indigenous dark-skinned people that actually come from the Americas, that are not from quote unquote Africa, that were lumped in with Africans during the slave times, I'm about to show y'all one of these civilizations, and it comes from one of my it comes from part 4 of the series, the Black Panther Connection. So check this out real quick, and we're gonna chop it up right after that. Califia, Queen of the Californians. In continental United States of America, there were Africans who came before slavery, before Columbus, and thousands of years before Jesus Christ. In many for real? Like y'all really go?
Cases, these dark-skinned people and other indigenous nations established thriving civilizations in ancient America. Queen Califia and the California dark-skinned people were one such ancient African nation. Reigning over the empire of Z, in the ancient kingdom of Utala, the nation of AtLan was the great queen of gold and diamonds, ruler of the ancient Californians, a civilization with an abundance of natural resources, gold, diamonds, vast quantities of precious stones and metals, with the territory spanning thousands and thousands of miles throughout California. From the coast of San Francisco to Bahia, Mexico, as far inland as Colorado, Utah, and all the Pacific Ocean island nations, including Hawaii and Australia, places where the most of the original inhabitants were Aborigine, Black, and brown people of color. This remarkable, multiple cultural, highly spiritual, religious civilization thrived for thousands of years and is duly noted in several recent discoveries, including ancient cave art dating back tens of thousands of years. Over 100,000 cave and rock art pictures, symbols, and ancient artifacts can be found at Crystal Lake, California, now a restricted United States Army base, and thousands of newly discovered cave and rock art found in 2014 in the highlands of Mexico. The photos of recently discovered cave art show one thing for sure. They were not a hunter-gatherer tribe, but a complex, highly advanced, thriving civilization that prospered way before the arrival of any Europeans Indians, or Clovis people. The ancient Californians lived by a strict moral ethics code, living in harmony with the people, animals, land, sea, earth, sun, and heavenly planets. Facts, artifacts, pyramids, ancient bones, stone statues, cave art, calendars, and archaeological discoveries within the last decade have all concluded that there was indeed a Black warrior nation in California. And they were at war with the Spanish, Mexican Spaniards, and US settlers until the mid 1800s. During the 1800s, after many years of war with Spanish invaders of the Southwest, with Mexico and the United States, the empire of the California blacks was completely diminished. The survivors blended into the African American black population of California and the United States.
Okay, so that was like I said, it was just a brief synopsis in regards to you know the Queen Califia, man, and who she was. Most importantly, the the reign that she had out there, and we're going to dig more into it because they did mention the fact that she comes from the ancient Olmecs, right? And then a lot of people also know the fact that you ask any South American or anybody, you go, who are your people? Where y'all come from? They will say the Olmecs. And then if you ask them who are the Olmecs, where they come from, they don't know. Nobody knows, right? And according to them, they don't know where they come from. So the best thing that I can do, because what I don't want to do is go do a bunch of research and go to these crazy websites that have this crazy information. I'm going to go to websites that we all respect, right? And we can all look at information that is somewhat mutual. Okay, is that fair to say? So for me, like I said, when you talk to any South American people and you ask them, where do y'all come from? The first thing they say is the Olmecs. But then, like I said, when it comes to the origin of the Olmecs, it's a mystery. It's very much a mystery. But now, by me introducing people like Queen Califia, who was a descendant of the Olmecs, and people don't even understand that she even existed, I want to kind of dive a little more into who the Olmecs are. You see what I'm saying? So the Olmec civilization. Let me see if y'all see that. Yes, y'all can see that. All right. So the Olmec civilization is what is known as archaeological culture. This means there is a collection of artifacts thought by archaeologists to represent a particular society. What is known about archaeological cultures is based on artifacts rather than text. In the case of the Olmec archaeologists, think artifacts found primarily on the northern half of the isthmus and the Tahatan Tepec in Mesoamerica from 1200 to 500 CE time frame, and represents the Olmec society. Now, the name Olmec was actually invented by scholars, derived from the Nahuatl Aztec word Olmecatl, which means inhabitant of the rubber country. Okay, so even then, that doesn't specify who they were, right? Olmec is a reference to the rubber production in the area where many of the artifacts have been found. Now, there are several Olmec sites throughout to be important centers of activity, of which San Lorenzo of La Vente are the most significant. San Lorenzo, about 56 kilometers south of the Gulf of Mexico in the modern Mexican state of Veracruz, was its height at around 1150 to 900 CE. La Vente east of San Lorenzo and closer to the Gulf Coast. All right. Now, research at these and other sites has led to the following insights. This is what I want us to kind of check out. The Olmec diet initially included foods from fishing and hunting. maize, and other crops were later addition to their food staff. The Olmec created massive monuments, including colossal stone heads. Y'all have seen the stone heads before. Thrones and statues. They may have been the originators of the Mesoamerican ball game, a ceremonial team sport played throughout the region for centuries. They also built earthen mounds and pyramids and ceramics of several types that became common throughout a broad region influenced by the Olmec civilization. Now, I don't want to bore y'all too much with all the talking, but we see and we hear, you know, I hope y'all hear the keywords in there, you know, in regards to the things that they were doing, who they were, you know, colossal statues, pyramids, you know, very, very complex and deep ancient civilization, right? Now y'all gotten a brief introduction of who the Olmecs are, right? Now, what I would like to do, let me get this off the screen real quick, and then let me put that boom right there. Okay, so let me show y'all some pictures real quick. That's what I want to do. I want to show y'all some pics, real. I want to show y'all some pictures real quick. Okay. Let me show y'all some pictures. Now, what we see here, world. Okay. And what I want to show y'all about this is this. There is something that you guys, I don't think y'all understand about what y'all looking at here. Okay. I'm going to be quick about this. And there's a certain reason why this is upside down, because I'm going to show y'all something that a lot of people really don't understand. Okay, so we've been looking at the world upside down. Okay. We've been looking at the world upside down. I'm going to explain to you why. When you think of the heat, when you think of the sun, when you think of the sky, that direction is what, folks? That is north. Okay, right? When you think of the ground, you think of south, right? Usually what is south is down, what is north is up, in the sense of direction, right? What is you know, what is east and west is up for interpretation, right? Based on the direction you're at. But what is up and down, we're not running around upside down. So north is always up, right? North is always up in the sense of your house. The roof of your house is the north part of the house. Is that fair to say? The floor of your house is the south part of your house. Is that fair to say? Okay, we're all in the same understanding on that. And then the same concept, the north part of the world, if you look at the world in the view that I'm looking at it, the north part of the world would be the sky, the south part of the world would be the ground. So the sun is in the sky, which is north, right? So what I'm saying is that the sun shines in the sky, which is on the north, and then the ground that we walk on is on the south. So y'all get what I'm saying here, the direction that I'm in, right? So with that same concept, folks, the hottest places in the world, when we look at a map, a two-directional map, and then why I don't understand why we look at the world, we look at a three-dimensional world in a two-dimensional way, and then it's completely opposite. The sun, the hottest places in the world are Australia, Africa, and South America, right? Those are some of the hottest places in the world. And then in Africa, Central America, and the equator part, some of the hottest places in the world, right? But the places that constantly stay hot year freaking round, Australia, South Africa's, the South Americas, stay hot all the time. And then the coldest places in the world are where? Are south. I mean, when we look at the normal world, traditionally are in the north, right? It's Russia and Canada, right? That's North America. Well, so now my thing is this. That's why I'm saying that it's upside down, because the sun is shining the most. Why is the sun shining the most on the south part of the world? Because, and then it's like the sun is not at the bottom, right? We know the sun is not at the bottom of anything. So if you flip the fucking map upside down, that's what it is. Because now look at Australia. Can y'all see what I'm doing here? Let me see if y'all can see that. Y'all see that, right? Now y'all see that square that I just put in Australia. It's hot. It's hot. The sun is shining here in this region, right? It shines in this region and it gets everything hot, but then the sun, it's where it's cold is where the sun don't shine. Where it's cold is where the sun shines. It takes the sun longest to get there. Places like, if we look down from the square I just drew, now look down to Russia and Canada. Look down to Russia and Canada. Where the sun is, it's taken the longest for the sun to get there, which makes sense why it would be cold. That's why it's cold in Canada. That's why it's cold in fucking Russia. It's because the sun is far away from there all the goddamn time. And because the sun is, it's not south from it, it's north from it. Because if you actually think about it, the sun is closer to Africa. The sun is closer to Australia. The sun is closer to South America. I'll say it again. The sun is closer to Australia. The sun is closer to Africa, and the sun is always closer to South America. Those are the southern, man. That's why it's always cold over there. That's why the Indian Ocean is the warmest ocean. That's why the great whites are over there. It's because it's the warmest ocean, which means what? The sun is closest to there because it shines the hottest. The same way the sun is closest to your roof and it shines hotter, right? It's hot on your roof. Why? Because the sun is closer to the roof. Well, our roof, ladies and gentlemen, our roof is Australia, is Africa, and South America. So that's one thing that we need to understand, is that when we look at the world map, it is upside down. We're looking at it the wrong way. The farthest places are coldest from the sun. Canada, Russia, all them shits, Alaska, all them shits that are away from the sun. They stay cold because they are away from the sun. What is never away from the sun and always is hot are the Australias, or is the Africas, is the Brazil. That's why I don't believe what they call Antarctica down there. That shit ain't cold. Man, that ain't cold, bro. That's the closest. It might be the hottest over there, bro, because it's close. It's even closer than Africa and Australia. So look how hot Australia is. I can't imagine how hot Antarctica is. It ain't cold in Antarctica. That's just what they tell us. It ain't cold over there. It ain't cold over there. So I hope y'all understand what I'm saying to y'all. What is the hottest is what's closest to the sun. That's all I can tell you. And what I know is that North America ain't closest to the sun. It's South America, because that motherfucker always hot over there. Always. And then obviously, the farther away you get from the sun, the colder it gets. That's where we grab our heat from. So, with that being said, let me get back to some more pictures. Let me get back to some more pictures for y'all. I got some more. Oh, I got some more. Oh, don't trip. Don't even trip. I got you. Okay, I got y'all. Let's start right here. Let's start right here. So, well, also what we need to understand, because we're talking about, these ancients, right? Talking about these ancients. So, what we need to understand that another thing that y'all don't understand or probably don't even know about is Israel. Is Israel and that whole Mediterranean area, but Israel specifically is part of Africa. I'll say it again. Israel is part of Africa, still is to this day. And how I know that, it's based on the African tectonic plate. It sits on top of the African tectonic plate, which is the same tectonic plate that Sudan sits on, which is the same tectonic plate that I want to say is Morocco sits on, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say it's Algeria. I want to say Egypt, Libya. These are the same places. Yes, in Sudan, Ethiopia, they sit on the same tectonic plate. Okay, so and you can even see here where the Dead Sea transform is. You can walk straight from Africa into Israel, and this was the land of the Jews. Now, not the Jews. It was the land of the Jewish people because there was 12 tribes, but it was the land of the Jews. Okay, and how I know this is because it has Phoenician roots, and we do know that the people of Phoenicia were known Semitics. Um, Now, let me show y'all something else. Yeah, we in there. We in there. It's not. It's time to get that knowledge. Time to get that knowledge. Now, this is probably the best description, illustration that I could show y'all of Jewish settlement back in the day. Okay. Okay. This is the Jewish settlement back in the day. You see what I'm saying? And when you think about your Bible, and all those stories, and a lot of those stories were held in places of African territory and origin, and the people of the darkest skin that you could ever think of, from the kingdom of Kush to the people of Ham, right? All the way to Shem, you name them. These folks are part of Africa, and this shows you right here exactly what is Africa and what sits on the African tectonic plate. It shows you right here, and also shows you, like I said, the people of Egypt. I mean, not Egypt, but of the Jews, right? Okay, so what else was I going to break off to y'all, man? Let me see here. So now what I wanted to do next, most importantly, is break down. I wanted to break down the similarities, because I understand that everyone deserves to know who they are. And that's why I feel like it's been this huge thing where a lot of people are going, look, something ain't right about this history and what they're talking about. And that's why I appreciate people like Dane Calloway. If y'all never heard of Dane Calloway, go check him out. He's the first person that I've seen who's actually, he did the footwork. He went and looked up his ancestry to where he could trace back to all the way back to his Indian roots, to his indigenous roots. And I recommend a lot of people to go out there and go do the same thing, because what I keep telling people is that there's a lot that we don't know, and all you have to do is go out there and do the research, and you can start seeing the similarities and also differences. Most importantly, there is a lot more similarities than differences, because a lot of people want to say, okay, so if the Olmecs came to South America, what did the Olmecs have anything to do with Africa? And so what I'd like to do is show y'all that. That's what I like to do. I'm gonna just go ahead and just show y'all. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all just real quick. I'm gonna show y'all real quick. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm out here just talking shit about people. I'm here to kind of, you know what I'm saying, to give some knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's all good and well to have fun, you know what I'm saying, and chop it up. But like I said, man, if you don't know who you are, you don't know where the hell you're going. So that's why I feel like it's imperative that I let people know that, yes, that thing that you don't feel right about not knowing who you are and not feeling at home about certain things, you're right. It's just you got to go do the research and information in regards to who you are and what you come from. But what I definitely want to show is that there is a lot of similar like-mindedness in spirituality, and in the way of cultivating civilization. So these are the similarities. So there are of course various old civilizations, like in the Indus Valley, in China, ancient Greeks. Certain moments in time, those civilizations came in contact with each other by trade or war, and they all influenced each other. But see, there's a difference between people trading with each other, and then people start building and praying and eating and worshiping, right? And dressing. Like, there's a difference when people start doing none type of things together. Because for me, when you see the patterns or the similarities in the Chinese, right, and the Japanese, or right, or any of their descendants, you see why they come from China, right? Them people come. So then a lot of their customs are rooted in that, from what they come from. So it's the same way when it comes to Christianity, right, or Judaism or Islam. A lot of their customs are rooted in African spirituality, whether it's Catholicism and incense. You know, we've always used that in African spirituality, using incense, drinking the blood of an animal, drinking the blood of Jesus, eating the body of Jesus, and like, you know, we've been doing all that. People have been doing that, and they remodernize it, or you know, or redefine it, whatever. I don't care whether they borrowed it or copied it. I don't care. That's not my concern. But my thing is that it's been done before. That's my main thing, is that it's been done before. But then when you start seeing patterns on how people do things, is when you see kinship, is when you see like-mindedness. But see, when you see a pyramid one space, and then you see a pyramid in another space, this is not just coincidence that people just stumbled into the technology of making pyramids, right? Now, the Mesoamerican civilizations, like the Olmecs, the Mayans, the Aztecs, they developed totally independent. They originated from the people 30 years ago, crossed the Bering Sea, and slowly moved to the south in Mesoamerica. I mean, I don't believe all that shit, but we'll keep going with the similarities. Most importantly, gold. Egypt, one of the greatest artifacts, was found in 1925, the Mask of Tutankhamun. It weighs more than 10 kilos, and a large part of it is high carat gold. Despite the fact that many tombs have been looted, a number of treasures were still saved. Now, the precious metals was mined in Nubia, which comes from Egypt, word for gold. The precious metal was in many Mesoamerican cultures just as important. Though the emergence of gold metalwork in Central America occurred relatively late, around 800 AD, it developed its own techniques and artwork, two civilizations with the same value of gold. And I've done a few lectures in regards to metallurgy in ancient Africa. Black Panther, they also focused on the metallurgy in ancient Africa, right? Um, so from the Egyptians all the way to my people in South Africa, where we had gold mines, we still have some of the largest reserves of gold mines. Where do you think the Egyptians went and got their gold? How do you think they even transported it? Because you know they had boats, and you know the Nile River, there is a white and a blue Nile. One of them runs north and south. You see what I'm saying, folks? But most importantly, the Mesoamericans, they held gold to that high value, because gold, that's a whole nother story, but gold was more than just jewelry. Gold was balancing the chakras. If you notice, why is gold always close to pressure points all over your body? Have you ever asked yourself that? Why is gold always close? Gold is by the pressure point by your neck. It's by your ears. It's by your wrist, where you can feel your heartbeat. You can put it by your chest, where your heartbeat is. Why is jewelry worn closer, always close to pressure points all over the chakras, all over the body? That's a whole nother lesson. We're going to get to that. Pyramids. Both Egypt and Mesoamerica made significant pyramids that still amaze us today, right? Scholars thought that pyramids in Mesoamerica had only a function as a temple. But later research suggests that it mainly has been used in the burial function for kings, just like it did for the pharaohs. The Great Pyramid of Giza has a height of 139 meters. The Mesoamerican are mostly smaller and contain top statues of gods. Still a temple of the sun of the Aztecs has the height of 71 meters. So the construction might not have been as clean, but nevertheless, the intent was still the same. So you might ask yourself, why would two different people who don't know each other from Adam start building these crazy looking pyramid things and putting their kings in there? Why do they do that? And then we don't even know exactly, to us, it looks like temples, where we consider them temples, but you should ask yourself that some people who create, like, man, people ain't just running around building pyramids, people. It wasn't that easy to build to begin with. So why are people running around trying to build them? But see, my thing is that even the architecture shows you, it shows you who knew. You know what I'm saying? It's showing you who is learning. It's showing you who is in the middle, in between. It almost shows you hierarchy with the architecture. It almost shows you the hierarchy. It almost shows you the hierarchy. Polytheistic gods, both Egypt and Mesoamerica had an important role for religions. Both were polytheistic, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, with a variety of gods. Both were very fluent in honoring gods. There were mostly endless number of gods, and their popularity and ranking changed over time. Both cultures also believed that this god needed to be praised and worshipped in order to have good harvest, enough food supply for their people to survive. Formal religious practice centered around the pharaohs or kings in both religions. The god of the sun was widely favored in both religions. The god of the sun was widely favored. For example, Ra in Egypt and Huitzilopochtli, the god of war by the Aztecs. Below are the major gods of Egypt and the Aztecs. Okay, so the Egyptian gods, let's check them out. The goddess of fire, the goddess of war, same concept, warriors. In Egypt, as well as Mesoamerica, there was an admiration and worship towards hunting animals. Often gods or rulers appear in these forms, right? Important forms in Egypt are the falcon, bull, cats, and lions. In Mesoamerica, the falcon was worshipped as well as the jaguar. Often, jaguar skins were worn by royals or elite warriors. In Egypt, people were sometimes represented as sphinx, half human, half animal. And to add to that, a lot of African civilizations, when it came to their witch doctors, right, their spiritual healers or spiritual leaders, they wore leopard skin. The panther is a leopard. The only reason why it's a jaguar in Mesoamerica is because the jaguar is the leopard of South America. The jaguar is the leopard of South America. The same way that the anaconda is the python of South America. The same way the Nile is the Amazon of South America. And the Mississippi is the Amazon of the North Americas. The Native Americans in North America, they also wore jaguar skin for their spiritual healers or the witch doctors. These are all related people. These are all related. All of these are related. Okay? You see, in my culture, Isangoma was the witch doctor. And the Isangoma is always draped in some kind of leopard. In the Native American, the medicine man had the jaguar skin. Do y'all know, have y'all seen leopards running around North America? The jaguar is the leopard of the Americas. So the oral history, by telling tales, right? By telling oral history. We never believed in books because it robs the human experience. We tell the tales ourselves. How we named ourselves based on the personal characteristics and attributes of who the person is. Squatting bull, right? Bow leg, right? These are similarities. You see, because I'm not into a family. I have a family of 6. I have 3 other siblings along with my parents. We're one family, but with 6 different people. One family, 6 different people. One family, 6 different minds. One family, 6 different personalities. One family, 6 different decisions. It's okay to be different, to be an individual. But don't forget what family you come from. I don't care where you're from. I don't mind. Just don't forget what family, what tree you come from. Both considered leopard, jaguar, the panther, the skin as spiritual connections. Right? The jaguar is a Native American word meaning he who kills with one blow. Okay? Obviously, Native American symbols, like the panther symbol, they can vary in meaning from one tribe to another and across culture groups. But the panther symbol was used by the ancient Native Americans of the Mississippi culture. African tribes had panther-based secret societies, hence the Black Panther movie. The tribal systems, we all went by chiefs and had chain of commands, right? The idea of a circle, sitting in a circle, smoking and passing it in rotation. These are all customs that we all share in a similar fashion. Our huts, our teepees, circles, 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 the drum. Not everybody just picked up a drum. The drum was imperative for the North American indigenous people. The drum was imperative for African people, for the South American. The drum. Look what we do with the drum nowadays, with the Afro music and the Caribbean music. Look what we still do with the drum. This is the same tree. Different branches. Same tree. Okay? The medicine wheel. It's a sacred symbol used by the indigenous Plains tribes to represent all knowledge of the universe. The medicine wheel, it's a symbol of hope. Right? The zodiac. The medicine wheel, the zodiac. Similarities of land, animals. The Nile River of Africa. The Amazon of South America. The Mississippi of North America. Similarities are something that brings us closer together. And that's what we need more than anything out here, man, is for people to understand that everyone has their own branch, but it comes from the same tree of life. So what I want to do is to leave y'all with another picture or two. That's what I'd like to do real quick before I get out of here. You know, I want to show y'all here we go. Boom. Look at that. That is in Calakmul, Mexico. And this is the thing, man. It's beautiful places. Beautiful. So just let y'all know, man, like we are not all from the same place. And this is just a brief little thing that I want to do just to show y'all that, there's a lot more to it than y'all think. And when it comes to, places like California, when it comes to places like Florida, when it comes to places like Oklahoma, man, Colorado, Arizona, Wyoming, Montana, man, ancient civilizations of people that have been walking those lands for, I'm talking about 2000 BC. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. So I'm going to be back with another one in regards to Carthaginian money being found in the shores of Boston, about Egyptian tombs found in the outskirts of Chicago. I'll be back with all that type of info. I'll be back about Queen Califia's some of the land and cave art that has her depicted on the cave art in California is now U.S. naval government property. There's like an army base on there. We're going to talk about all of that. And these are the secrets that exist here in the Americas. We're not even talking about Africa, because there's a whole nother civilization of people, civilizations, plural, of people that have existed here and have not only survived, but thrived in the Americas for the long time. And their descendants are the dark skinned, a majority of the dark skinned people that live here in America who are confused to be African, which they are not. So thank y'all so much for your time. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all soon. I'll be back with some more of these. Peace.